It holds a lot of coffee, that cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty legit, though.
We're back.
Cello.
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
My voice might not work because I haven't been talking for the last week because I've been
Laid up in bed in your dungeon.
laid up in bed. Also, while I'm wearing shorts on camera. They're loose fitting.
Yeah.
And I have an surgical injury. We're going to get to that in a minute.
Injured.
This is a quick episode. Conversation? They're not really episodes, who cares? Anyway.
It's all the same.
It's a fertility update.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
You've been off.
My brain doesn't work.
You've been turned off for like a week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been weird transition into...
Summer?
Yeah. It's been strange.
Yeah, you're not teaching right now. You're in your mandatory summer break as a teacher.
It's not that I'm not teaching. I'm not working. So, like, normally I work in the summer.
Oh, this is your first time not working.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm just like, my brain is like, oh, I don't have to do anything, then I'm not going to do anything.
Oh, you've been productive.
It's just, no, but like,
Oh,
I mean,
up here.
it's not working
Sure,
correctly.
yeah. You've been 3 brain cells short of a Happy Meal for like
Yeah, it's
a week straight.
it's almost like a little concerning.
It's
I'm
not
a little
concerning.
bit nervous.
It would be. Apologies if I'm shuffling and stuff. I'm very uncomfortable sitting upright still.
Yeah.
I was gonna put my leg up, but I
Yeah,
can't. It hurts. So I'm gonna be doing this and going a lot. So apologies. Okay. Yeah, 3 brain cells short of a light bulb.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be like 3 watts short of a light bulb?
It would be, but not when I say it. We had an LOL about that.
Yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel inside.
We made a revelation about a month ago. I made an admittance to you about a month ago about how I say things incorrectly, and it's fun for me. And you always think I'm just blowing it.
I know, and then I just shake my head. I'm like, oh my goodness.
And I like to say things wrong because it's funnier.
Supposedly.
And it's more... Supposedly. And it's funnier to me how many wrong ways I can say one thing. So every time I say it wrong another way, I giggle on the inside more because it's an inside joke for me.
You have an inside joke with yourself?
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's kind of weird.
Yep.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, that's not the topic today. We're talking about the infertility stuff. Here's the update. Ready? You go first.
Update. I had my Hycosi yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what it is. I was there, but that's a big word. Can you break it down? Without getting too gory?
Well, I mean, no, but sure. They did an internal ultrasound. Everything looked good, which was normal. You know, I've had those before. No pain there.
Make sure all your pieces, parts are there.
Yeah, everything's in there. Everything's looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I got eggs, lots of eggs in there, so we're golden in that area.
Yeah.
But in Hycosi, they take a catheter into your uterus as well as the internal ultrasound. And they use the internal ultrasound to watch the catheter release whatever the medical term is for bubbles.
Air bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles into my uterus to see if the bubbles go in and out of the fallopian tubes, just to make sure my tubes are clear. So they do that, and then they do the same thing with saline. They put some saline through there too.
Yeah, super uncomfortable.
Wow.
Uncomfortable is not the right word.
I mean...
You were swearing in the doctor's office.
I did not swear.
Son
I
of a monkey.
Son of a monkey, sir. And I almost broke your finger.
That's not true.
And I'm just thinking, like,
That's why I gave you one finger.
Maybe that was like what the very early contractions feel like. Something similar to that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we won't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't know if contractions feel like inside. I know it's like, no, it's comfortable in here. I know it's like outside cramping, which is what I was dealing with yesterday after the procedure.
Right.
But I'm not kidding you. When I stood up, I thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
I really did.
I had my hand on you to make sure you didn't.
And then I like got really sweaty and like spacey. And then I was going to sit back down, and I couldn't sit back down because it was gross on the spot. So I was like, this is not going to work for me. And then I started crying.
Yeah, there's a lot of pain. I've never
So
seen
much
you,
pain.
I've seen you, like, you know, you broke your back in high school, so I've seen you throw your back out, and that's painful.
Yeah.
And I know what that feels like. Not the breaking the back part, but throwing your back out, because I have a similar thing to you. Yours is on the bottom, mine is on the top.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but, you know, when you pinch those nerves, you throw that out, those muscles and whatever out, it sucks. It hurts a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that. I've also seen you eat shit a couple times, like slip and fall. Nothing crazy, just slippery pavement or whatever.
Right.
And that sucks because I skateboard and I eat shit for a living, and I understand that hurts. But I've never seen you like that.
Like, it was really bad.
Is that the most pain that you think you've ever felt?
100%.
Really? It was that bad?
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they should give you something.
Oh, like
besides telling you to take 2 ibuprofen before you go, which, without any brain cells
you forgot to do.
that I, am missing, I forgot to do that. And I told her at the desk, thinking maybe, at a doctor's office they could give you some, but obviously that's not a thing. And she said I'd be fine. I was not fine. There was no fineness at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we got home,
This was
I was
yesterday?
I was in more pain when we got home, like because of all the spasms inside and the contracting, that it was like, that was rough.
Yeah.
So bad that you had to drive me to my pedicure appointment.
Oh, a couple hours later. You
Yeah.
were
And
done.
it was so bad I wasn't breathing, and I pinched a nerve in my shoulder.
Yeah, because you were all tense.
And I got up, and I was like,
I thought you broke something.
I don't know what I thought. I really don't. I was just like, why do I have pain up here?
How's your shoulder feel?
It's fine.
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like all clenched up. The nurse, it was about to roll off my tongue like, you need to breathe. Mm-hmm. But in that kind of a situation, there's doctors, there's nurses. Mm-hmm. I find it most productive in those situations for me to keep my mouth shut, which, thank you very much. I know that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So I was like just about to be like, dude, you're turning red. You need to start breathing. And then luckily the nurse, who was lovely, her name was Sam.
She was so great.
She was lovely.
I loved
her. The nurse
her.
was like, hey, you need to breathe.
She's like, don't forget to
Yeah.
breathe.
So in that moment though, like it was
She
a minute because you're turning red. So in that moment, you were all tense and you weren't breathing, and that's what that pinches nerve and whatever. All kinds of things can go wrong in that moment.
I was so tense too because, like, she got the catheter in there, and that hurt in general, and then she took something off, and the catheter came out, and she had to do it again, and so I knew what it felt like the first time.
Yeah.
So I was preparing for the second time.
So there was the main doctor, and then there was a new doctor that was learning, and you and I had a whole conversation about this yesterday, but to just sum it up quickly, it's important for new doctors to learn this kind of stuff. It does suck in the moment if you are the test subject.
Right.
But without that kind of stuff...
Right. We wouldn't be able to have what we have now.
Yeah, so, again, it sucks that it had to happen to you.
Yeah.
However, imagine getting not a proficient student.
Right.
Like, she messed up once, got it right the second time.
Right.
Imagine it being like, we're on the third try.
I mean, if it was the third, I would be like, no,
You
we're
would
done.
have stopped. Yeah.
We're done.
It hurt that bad.
I'm open. We're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
So you feel better today, mostly?
Yeah, I'm just sore. It's
yeah.
not like I sound like I can't move or do anything, but I'm just a little sore.
Your shoulder's better, though.
Yeah, my shoulder's good.
Cool. So you, again, picture perfect health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything came back perfectly clear.
I'm the problem. You good? Mm-hmm. Anything else on the update?
I did get my genetic testing back.
They had you do a DNA test to just kind of see what was going on with explain that to me.
Yeah, so we met with the infertility...
That was a while ago.
Yeah, we met with the infertility specialist. We haven't done one since. We met with the infertility specialist. It was like a meet and greet, basically, type of deal. Was not what either of us were expecting, I don't think. And she said that one of us had to do genetic testing, because if we do end up having to do IVF, they have to test the embryos for those genetic abnormalities. So I guess it's part of the IVF, I don't know. So we chose myself to do the genetic testing because your family has a history of like cancer and all that stuff. So there was a chance that mine could come back clear because we don't really have any genetic abnormalities.
The problem
or
being
like
if
that.
we're both carriers for certain stuff,
Right.
the chances of the baby getting whatever that is are much higher.
Much higher.
So they scanned you first.
They scanned me first because there's a possibility that I come back 100% clear, but I did not. I came back with 3.
Only 3? I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. One of them is cystic fibrosis. Another one is a protein deficiency.
What did that say? Anything else? Or did you
I don't.
dive?
It has a title, it has a name, but the gist of it is it's a protein deficiency.
Okay.
And the last one, though, that one was kind of scary. That was one where it was like, if it is passed to the baby, like they will have seconds to live once they're born. Yeah.
The third one?
Yeah, the third one.
Wasn't one of them
really
deaf, too?
sad. No, that's the protein
That's the
deficiency
second
one. Mm-hmm.
Which, you know.
We could handle that.
Yeah.
Not that,
I can sign.
but whatever.
Go slow.
I just,
Yeah.
so now what happens is now you have to get tested to see if you have those 3.
Yeah.
And if you have one of those 3 and we do go to IVF and, you know, if they say they have 4 embryos, they can test all 4 embryos for, say you come back with cystic fibrosis too. They can test for that cystic fibrosis, and then if that embryo has it, then they would not use that one.
Now, I do have a... Is that it for the DNA test?
Yeah, that's
Hypothetically, you know, we're getting into territory here that's science and not faith anymore for you. Mm-hmm. You obviously know where we stand on this issue. Mm-hmm. Faith, science.
right.
Not that you deny the science. That's
Right.
not what I'm saying.
Right.
Just this is where we stand on the two sides of the battle. For me, yeah, man, anything that you can do to help, that they can do, not you, that they can do to help us, the doctors, the medicine, the science, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
100%. No, the only thing I ever have, you know, on the fence about are, I don't understand this, can you help me understand this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a doctor.
Right.
You know, luckily for me, I have a family history of needing to know things. So I do, you know, understand the terms. Or if I don't, it's not that hard for me to pick up on it.
Yeah.
Just because of everything in my family. But that doesn't mean that, again, that I know this stuff. So if they say something to me and I'm like, what was that? That doesn't mean I'm not going to be cool with what they said. It just, I don't understand. Now, let's say we, just hypothetical, and I don't want to play this game for long, but
That's fine.
if there's 4 of those embryos, 2 of them, they say this could be a real issue, where are you going to stand on that side? Because, you know, are you going to say pick the better ones? Or are you going to say my faith is in God here? You know what I mean? And if you're not ready to talk about this yet,
No, I'm
then
just
we can talk about it later.
trying to formulate it correctly. I
Because
think the science is amazing.
wait, real quick, what they did tell us was they could try all 4,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
and then, you know, maybe you have twins at that point.
Right. So when you
So
do
you
embryos,
take the 2 off the table? That's what I'm wondering.
when you do the embryos, you can put in as many as you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but there's a chance you get all those kids. Like if we put in 6 embryos,
right.
there's a possibility we have 6 tuplets. You know, obviously it's not something
Which I did not sign up for, by the
we
way.
would do. So
6
that's not a
kids is-
thing.
that is
the
not-
most we
no.
would put in at a time would be 2.
Okay.
You know.
Again, we just found out about this DNA thing, so if you don't want to answer that question.
No, I have no problem answering that question. I think the science is amazing, and I think that God created the brains of those scientists to make these types of situations possible for parents. People who don't do IVF don't have that option. Like if they have
Right. It's just up to...
an abnormality, then they have an abnormality.
Right.
But what this does is it takes off the table of us having to figure out when we already have a baby in the womb that they have an abnormality, whether we need to abort or not. Like that last one, the third one, where the child would be in pain, and the second it's born, it's going to die. That is terrifying to me. And that's not a bridge I want to cross. So doing the IVF treatment that way, and being like, hey, these 2 embryos of the 4 we got, these 2, hypothetically we take 4. Of the 4 we got, before we, put them in you, these two are free and clear, these two have X, Y, and Z. What are your choices? Well, it's kind of like a catch-22. We're going to take the good ones, but I don't think that means that we disregard the bad ones. I think that means like just because you take two of them doesn't mean you don't get rid of the other ones.
Let's break it down further. There's two. One doesn't have the things. The other one does. You want to throw them both in there.
No.
If there's only two, you just want the one.
No, just the one.
Oh, okay.
And then if that one doesn't work, then we do the other one.
You go again.
Yeah. I mean,
right. I'm still not up to the speed. Excuse me. My brain and my mouth aren't working well this week. I'm still not up to speed. A, your DNA test, I didn't even look at it yet. Mm-hmm. And B, then the things that you have to, know, research, etc. I haven't done any of that yet. Mm-hmm. So I can't really,
and I think that
throw anything into this conversation other than I would always err on the side of the doctors. Like whatever they say is probably the best call.
Well, I'm going to do both. I'm going to listen to what they have to say, but then I'm also going to take into consideration of like, God brought us to this point. Why? And what are we going to learn from this? And how do we make the best choice together? So
cool.
That's something I'll cross that bridge when we get there, but we still have to just get you tested. And you could come back with everything else and not these three, and it wouldn't matter.
Right. Yeah, so far, my end of this has been garbage.
Yeah, let's turn the tables here. Let's.
It's what's funny to me about this, and this is like what I was gonna talk about for like a real quick second after we do the whole fertility update thing. It's just that like it makes sense. That to me, it makes sense that all these problems are on my end because that has been the nature of my life. Whether it's shit choices I make or things that are in whether things are in or out of my control, my life has been a series of bullshit or series of events that are full of nonsense, and it just makes sense that you're good to go and these problems are on me. So I can imagine that this DNA test for me doesn't go well.
Look, as long as you don't have the 3 that I have of the 100, which they test 175.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, cool. You good? Mm-hmm. I had surgery last week. Mm-hmm. Today is Wednesday.
It's almost a week.
Yeah, so 6 days. So last Thursday, I had surgery. Without getting into the gory details, I basically had too much blood flow to the situation of sperm creation, and it was too hot and uninhabitable.
Well, it's not that it was uninhabitable. It was too comfortable. Their sperm didn't want to go anywhere.
Okay.
Just chilling on their Burka loungers.
Yeah, however you want to look at it, the temperature was too high, and I wasn't doing the things that that need to be done. It wasn't the right situation. So I thought they were going to split me down the middle, up underneath. They did not actually. They cut me here under my belly button.
Yeah. Well,
lower than my belly button, but it's on that part of me,
yeah,
under my belly button, to my left. So this way, stage right for you guys. Who cares? Before my leg, so it's up here. So it's not on my leg, it's like right here. They made an incision, it's about 2 inches or so, maybe a little bigger than that. And they went in there and they just mitigated the blood flow. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they did exactly. Honestly, I didn't ask a whole lot of questions because the more information that I know about something, the more likely I am to spiral and dive in and lose all sense of, get so specific. I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need I'm at a very specific point in my life right now where I'm like really learning how to pick and choose my battles with everything for me, as far as, I have the capacity to really get obsessive about whatever, anything, everything, nothing, all the things. It's like right there, I'm 0 to 100. I'm really trying to mitigate that and learn what 50 miles an hour looks like. So I didn't ask a whole lot of questions about what they were doing specifically, just kind of what is the purpose, what is the goal. I will tell you, I've had stitches many times. I've had couple of surgeries before. This is the most painful aftermath I've ever had of being knocked out at the hospital to have something done, as far as pain level goes. It's at the spot here where I can't. Today is actually the first day that I've been able to sit comfortably for more than like 10 minutes.
Right.
6 days later. So like, I've been trying to move around a little bit, but the only way I've been comfortable for the last 5 full days is flat on my back in the bed. And it has been so fucking boring.
See.
I'm like playing video games and I'm like, trying to like watch TV or whatever. I can't really like read because I'd have to hold the book up here. That doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I'm not really like playing on my phone that much. I've checked in more on social media in the last week than I have in the last month. We're going to get to that in a minute. But like, dude, I do not like to sit still as it is. So physically not being able to move. It's different if I break my ankle or something.
Right.
I've got crutches.
Right.
I can stand on the other leg.
Right.
I can like move, or whatever. All the stuff I've ever had happen to me. The only thing worse than this was the seizure concussion combo because I wasn't there for a while.
Yeah.
And that was awful.
That was frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, that was awful in a totally different way of like, I know my name is Scott and I know that I'm capable of this stuff, whatever the stuff is,
Right.
but I'm like only 35% of the way there. And in that zone of
Concussion.
yeah, Caesar. I don't know why
This has been happening like all week. I've been
All
like,
week.
okay, start over.
Yeah. Seizure concussion. So when that happened, I knew where I was 35%. Knew I was nowhere near 100% as far as like thinking or, and that was awful. Like that was probably the saddest, most frustrating thing that's ever happened to me is only having 35% of my brain. And I didn't think I was ever going to come back. And that was sucked. That was like, 6 weeks or something it lasted? Longer? 3 months?
It was like, after 3 months, we were concerned and we went to a neurologist.
Oh, was it that long? See, I don't
And
even...
he said that it would last, you probably wouldn't even have full function between 6 to 12 months. And it was about 8 months, 9 months that you finally were like, ooh, okay, I'm a little less foggy.
That sucked.
It was almost a whole year.
All right, but that was frustration. That wasn't painful, really.
Right.
This sucks.
Yeah.
That was off on a tangent. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
This
we
hurts.
tried to walk, around the store and
yeah. So surgery on Thursday.
And then Saturday.
Sunday, we went to the store, and I was like, I gotta get out of this house.
Yeah.
We went to Target, and I
Sorry,
was just...
Mom.
Why?
My mom's banning Target.
Oh, dude.
Okay. Another
Anyway,
story.
Yeah.
Another time.
We were at the store, and I was just walking around. We were there for probably half hour, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And
we had
then
to get good sunscreen.
Yeah, that's the only
That's
place
what
that
it's-
sells anyway,
Yeah.
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were there for a while. I was meandering around just trying to move. I couldn't move the rest of the day after that. Way too early for me to be walking around. So anyway, this sucks. The incision is cool. Not cool. It looks fine. It's already pretty much healed. I mean, I'm going to have a scar there. No big deal. Don't
Dissolvable.
care. Yeah, dissolvable stitches. I don't have to do anything. But it looks like they took a hammer to that spot.
It's so bruised.
It's like the incision, again, we're talking about 2 inches roughly. But the bruise is like
a
this.
softball size.
Yeah, and it's a little smaller now, but it's like, dude, this hurts, man.
Yeah.
I've never been in this much pain for this long in my whole life.
Yeah.
All of my injuries, everything, my whole whatever I've ever gotten myself into. Talking about tipping motorcycles over, rubbing my face off on the concrete. This is the most pain I've ever been in.
Yeah.
For sure. It sucks. Today's the first day that I'm sitting up. I was on the couch today for how long? Like an hour?
Yeah.
First time I've been able to sit on the couch because our couch is soft, so you sink into it. So I sat on the couch today for a couple hours. That felt good to get out of the bedroom. But I did laundry today. That was cool.
Yeah. You've been up moving around.
Yeah, I'm up and moving. So yeah, surgery to make the temperature more ideal for my body to do the things it needs to do to be able
Can't be too cold. Can't be too hot.
Yeah. It's
Big
like
Goldilocks situation.
I said that to
Aunt Lori.
Aunt Lori yesterday. Your Aunt Lori
Yeah.
yesterday at the barber shop.
At Awaken.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, hopefully this
Oh,
is it.
the nurse that
This was cool to hear, by the way.
yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
nurse that took me back to see you before you went in, she said that her husband had the same procedure done because she was all good and he was low and slow, and
I love that.
he had the procedure done and they ended up having 3 kids naturally.
Like right after.
Like right after, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the second, my co-teacher, she told me when we found out you were getting your surgery, she told me that one of her friends, after they had the surgery, they got pregnant.
Yeah.
Because of it, so.
So all this talk about IVF and what's the other one? IUI. We might not even need all that. I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up by any means, and hopefully you don't either.
I don't.
It's dusty.
I know.
Sorry, I forgot. But this room is so clean. Cleanest room.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not getting my hopes up. I mean, I have my hopes pretty high that IUI will work after this. That's what I'm hoping for. Really, honestly. I mean, if we don't do it naturally, I'm really hoping that IUI is successful, which is why they had to go in and make sure my tubes were clear. But, that would be nice.
Yeah. So, laying in this bed for the last week, full function of my brain this time. Other than the stuttering thing, which...
Well, you're not talking to anybody.
That's true. I'm just in there doing nothing.
Because, I've been powering through.
Yeah.
Just on summer break, just tore the house apart and put
Yeah,
it back
you did.
together.
Talk about summer cleaning. Looks great. Good job.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you for getting a bunch of stuff done around the house.
Yeah. Just got a couple more things to tackle and good to go.
Yeah. Laying around like that for the last week, I've been... there's no better way to be trapped with your own thoughts than to be trapped with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, our life is good, me and you. This house, even though I don't like this house that much, it is home. Things with me and you are good, but I got some stuff going on in my life that's just making me deeply unhappy. So I've been thinking about that a lot this week. And I got some stuff coming up that I can't talk about yet that I'm hoping is going to change things. I've been on the fence about some stuff for like a while. I know this is super vague, and I'm sorry. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to unleash everything that I want to talk about. But the point that I'm trying to make right now is that there is no better way to sort through your shit than to be stuck in one place and have nothing else to do. You can only play so many video games.
Right.
I mean, luckily...
Watch so many movies.
Yeah, luckily, that I've been having fun with that little Switch, but I can't do that for very long. So I've been unhappy with how things are going in my life. This is not where I envisioned myself at this age, doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to make some changes. And I'm just going to have to be okay with whatever it is I decide to do as far as being okay with making the changes, because my life is about me. Us, obviously, but that should go without saying. And I can't do things that are not pushing me somewhere. I'm horrible at being complacent. Which...
But you shouldn't want to be complacent anyways.
There's 2 schools of thoughts here, okay? Remember, I've been doing nothing but thinking for a week. So that word, very specifically, complacent. There's 2 schools of thoughts here. There is nothing wrong with being complacent if you're comfortable. If you're comfortable with your job, your life, your things, being complacent could be a blessing. Everything's good, don't need to change anything, just need to do my routine, go about my business. That could be a great thing, I think.
Yeah.
However, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
The second that I get or feel complacent, is the second one I'm like, this isn't the right choice for me right now. Like, not right now, but like, this isn't the right choice. Complacency for me is the worst. It's like worse than being depressed and doing nothing. Because when I'm depressed and I'm doing nothing, not that it's easy to come out of that, but all you got to do is come out of that.
Right.
When you're complacent, you got to make real decisions about change. Right? Like, all right, I'm complacent. I'm not stoked on this situation. I'm not driven. I'm not motivated. You know, or whatever. This is me. You know, obviously. Then you have to make decisions that are hard. You have to have conversations that are tough. You have to have,
agree.
you have to have dogs that bark at everyone that walks by.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm feeling very complacent, and I can't be that way. I have to have goals. I have to have forward motion. You know, I'm like it's like the worst analogy. Like a shark, they have to keep going forward, you know, to breathe. Is that right? I don't even know if that's real. That might not be real. But that's the analogy that most people make. But like, I'm like that. I have to be moving forward. And I've not been moving anywhere for a while. And I can't live like that.
Yeah.
So without, you know, the vagueness will stop maybe for the next time we shoot one of these.
Yeah.
I've been taking a break from social media. I've been on there a little bit, but I haven't been posting anything. And the reason I haven't been posting anything for like a month is because of that feeling of complacency. I personally, when it comes to social media, I don't like to repost content, like, which is fine if you do, you know, no problem with that. But for me, if I'm going to do things, I like to be original.
Right.
Even if it's like, what am I doing today? You know, like with the story posts and stuff. But there's always something behind that. It's not just what am I doing today. It's like, I'm doing this and here's a song that relates to it somehow.
Right.
And there's always like some underlying silly message. And I can't create content when what's the point?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like to do stuff like that. Like I like to do those posts or the story runs and stuff. I think that's fun. It's fun for me. It's like a little creative outlet that doesn't matter. But I've been stuck in a place, right, for the last while of nothing matters. And I find with me that either nothing matters or everything matters. Mm-hmm. This is that 0 to 100 thing that I was talking about before. I don't want to be that way. Remember, I'm trying to learn how to cruise at 50.
Right.
So that I can, you know, have multiple things instead of just one thing or whatever. But I can't, like, I've been at a nothing matter stage for a while. And if nothing matters, I'm not going to shit post.
Right.
I hate that. Post just for the
Just to
sake
post.
of it. Yeah. It's annoying. It's annoying to me. Who, you know, why would you, again, this isn't about anybody else but me, right? So I don't like to post just for the sake of posting. I don't like to do story runs just for the sake of it. It's usually what am I interested in, what am I doing? That's usually what I post. But I've been interested in nothing, and I've been doing nothing. And I can't live like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this is when those hard conversations have to come about, or the hard decisions. And luckily for me, I'm off work for 2 weeks, which gives me 2 weeks to like really dial down and think about this.
Yeah.
So the first week is over tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going on vacation, which I'm stoked on.
It's been the longest week.
This has been the longest week ever.
This is like longer than the last week of school. And that's a long week. All you teachers know that that's like the longest week of the entire year is the last week of school. Even if that last week of school week is only 2 days, it's still really long.
Yeah, I mean,
but this
week has been awful.
Has been terrible.
For me too. Like it's like the hours are hours in themselves.
I don't know if it's because like you had your procedure and you've been cooped up in the bedroom, or I had my thing yesterday and it's like, and then I had another thing today. And
we had to build up to yesterday too, like a week long.
Right.
We knew this point was coming for a while.
Right.
So you have like the build up to, yeah. And for me, I've just been stuck on a bed
I just can't wait. I can't wait.
for vacation.
I can't wait.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah, so first week stuck in the room with my thoughts. Next week stuck on the beach again with my thoughts. Much better place to be stuck with your thoughts.
For sure.
So next week for me is going to be amazingly productive.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I can't.
But you're doing.
I physically can't do anything right now.
You're doing stuff up here.
Uh-huh. But it's going to be a lot easier for me to close my eyes on the beach with that rolling sound and the salt in the air, the sound of the rolling waves and the salt in the air and the kids screaming and seagulls and like it becomes white noise, all that. That's like accessory.
See, you don't do it on purpose. Sometimes you really don't know.
Sensory overload.
Sensory overload.
You caught me on that one. That was an honest mistake. Noises for me, we've talked about this, I think. Have we on this?
I don't know. We've done so many of these, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I have noise things. Like I go crazy. Maybe I'm a little autistic or something.
Nuts.
So like if something is
You
repetitive,
hear things that I don't think are actually really heard.
If I hear like if I'm driving in the car and something's clicking in the back seat that shouldn't be clicking, if it's a water bottle rolling on the floor, or if it's like the seatbelt, you threw your book bag back there and the seatbelt is clinking on the metal part of the book bag, that kind of stuff drives me bananas. Like I have to stop, pull the car over, figure out where the noise is coming from, and stop it. I can't function when there's like annoying sounds in the background.
Right.
The flip side of that coin is if you take me somewhere where it's just like sensory overload with the noise, I'm like, I like bliss out, and I can sleep in that. It's crazy. It's like not normal for sure on the spectrum, I think. But yeah, so anyway, I'm looking forward to that next week, coming up in a couple days and all of next week to really dial in on this, where am I right now? Why am I here? Where am I going? Why am I going there? I can't be complacent.
Yeah.
It's just like soul sucking, I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason. You have one life. Why be miserable in it?
I agree. But
And if there's even an inkling or a small little light of possibility, I say go for it.
Yeah, the last week laying stuck in bed after having surgery, there's nothing. My brain has to go to the mortality thing. Like, what if I died right now? And I've been reading a lot about the Stoics and all that old philosophy stuff too, about how to be, why, yeah, all that. And one of the things that the Stoics talk about a lot is your relationship with death, right? So you could die right now, dead. Why? Doesn't matter. Reasons don't matter, just facts. You could be dead tomorrow. You could be dead Thursday. It doesn't matter. So knowing that you could die at any minute for any reason, are you satisfied with where you are, what you've done, who you are, who you're with, all of the questions of the rainbow, And if I died tomorrow, I would be sad. I would be dead, but I would be sad. Not about the life I've lived.
Right.
Not about you.
Right.
Not about the things I've done. But the fact that, like, right now, I feel like I'm directionless. And if I died directionless, that's like the equivalent of me dying poor and ragged on the street. It's the same thing to me. Like, again, money isn't my motivator, but, like, if I died schizophrenic on the street, it's the same. That's the same feeling to me as dying in complacency. And I just can't do that. So, yeah, that's a little bit of again, I'm being super vague.
Upcoming topic.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be super vague. I'm just trying to tell you where I'm at. I mean, you're aware of all this stuff, but
yeah, I
haven't really been able to formulate it as well as I am right now because I haven't had a week to be stuck in bed.
Yeah, and where I stand on it all, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta... Even if it's 1 step forward, 3 steps back, you have to be making forward motion in life. And, you know, you are my shining star example of what do I see every day. Somebody that is constantly moving forward. You've always been moving forward since the day I met you. You know, with school, with your career, with the subjects. And that sounded like
It
she was
sounded
up
like
there.
Isla.
Oh, the gate
The
fell
gate
down.
fell down. Come on, Buckeye.
All right, well, we're going to have doggy visitors. Hi.
Hi, buddy.
Isla.
Isla, come here. I know you're here.
There
There
she
you
is,
are.
coming out of the bedroom.
Hi. No, don't jump on Daddy. Come on. Come on.
All right, well, they managed to knock over the baby gate. And this feels like a good place to end.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm good.
You got anything? All right.
Nope.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Love ya.
Love ya.
All right, you little cutie patooties.
Who knocked over the gate? Bastards.
Kids these days.